Now we're going to talk about families, and with Revit you have three different types of families. The first is a system family, which is like your floors, your wall systems, your floor systems, your roof systems. Okay. Next is the loadable families, which are the components that you've used somewhat already. These are things like doors and windows and furniture and plumbing fixtures, all that kind of stuff. And then there are in-place families that you can create within the model, but they're not saved to your library. Okay, and we're not going to cover in-place families. In 1129 and 1131, we will be doing some component modeling in place for extrusions to fill out millwork and trim and stuff like that. But this week we're going to work on loadable families. Okay, these are, if you've looked through the stuff and you've downloaded some things from Revit City or from Blackboard, you'll notice the file extension is an RFA file. So it's a Revit family file. Okay. Now, when it comes to loading these, there are two different ways, and I've got a project open here. I just opened a new project. And if you go to the Insert tab and go Load Family, and of course, Imperial Library, there we go. So from here, you can load any type of family that's in the library. Okay. I've created this link. It's grayed out right now because I don't have my external drive hooked up, but that's where I store all of my downloaded stuff from Revit City and other manufacturers. And I probably showed you this in the videos for 1129, but I have it organized by folders. Okay, so all my doors are in one folder, all my plumbing fixtures are in a folder, windows are in a folder like that. Okay. If you ever get lost in here, maybe you've downloaded something that's in your downloads folder, you can navigate this way. And if you ever get lost, you can just come right back over here and go right back to the library. Okay, so from the Insert tab, you can load any family. However, over here, like say you're indoors and you cannot load a window. Okay, so I'll just go here and try. Ta-da! Okay, it tells you you're not trying to load a door, so try again. Where this comes into it can create a problem, especially when you're trying to load the openings, like cased openings. It's not a door family, okay? It's an opening family. So when you're in here, like doors, windows, columns, and then in structure, when you're trying to do beams and columns here, if I go beam and load family, I can only load beams. Okay, I can't load something else. So that's two different things there. You may end up loading families into your file that, for whatever reason, you don't use them, or they may be stuff in your, that's in the template, like mutton patterns and parking spaces and all these trees and things, and you're not using them in your project. The way to get rid of them is to purge them. And so on the Manage tab, let's see, where's it at? It's somewhere in here. Oh, there we go. Purge unused. Okay, and so you can come through here and select things that you don't want. So I'm going to go to plantings, and I'm going to turn off the trees. I don't, oh yeah, I want to check those. Okay, I want to get rid of trees. So if I purge it right now, the only thing that will not leave will be the desk. So let's just do it, all right? Or we could say check none, and I'll come back down here and go check trees. Okay, so there's 19 trees that are going to be purged. Back to components, and you can see the trees are gone. Okay, so that's that thing. Now, here in, I said it once before in one of the other videos, families can be hosted or non-hosted, meaning that, okay, so things like windows. Windows go in walls, so they are hosted in a wall family. Doors go in walls, so they are hosted to a wall family. Furniture can be a floor hosted family, or it could be a non-hosted family. Okay, so it depends on what the use of the thing is. Most critical is whether or not it will be cutting a hole into its host. Like doors and windows cut a hole in an opening in the host, so they have to be a hosted family. But some things, like some of the light fixtures that you may download, especially furniture, they'll be non-hosted. Okay, they may not be. So those are two things to think about there. Now, open up a desk here, and you can look at it. It's a series of extrusions and sweeps and blends to get all these little shapes. And if you've taken the 1105 class for Inventor or the 2020 class, SolidWorks, then you're going to understand what we're talking about with extrusions and sweeps and things. So that'll be a little easier for you. But if I look at this desk, if I select it, and let's go Edit Family. Okay, so here's our 3D view. And if I click on, something, that shows me that those are extrusions. Okay, and I click on those handles, those were a sweep. The feet, the legs down here, those were blends. Okay, and you can see they all have, like these have a first end and a second end. Okay, it has a material applied to it. Is it a solid or is it a void? Okay, so let's look back at the door here. It's a solid. It has a material of ivory laminate. Okay. And then the whole thing here, visible or not. Because you'll have some things that would be visible in one view, not visible in another view. So if I expand this and go to my floor plan, okay, and so I'm in my floor plan, which is the reference plane for this. There's an extrusion for the desk, and they didn't do a void for the knee space in there. They just extruded all the way around it. But you see here, we've got reference planes. Okay, so we've got an X and a Y reference plane going through the center or the origin, and then we've got a couple on the other side. So this is for the center of the doors and handles. This would be the edge, the right side of the desk. This one is the left side of the desk, even though they didn't name it. Okay. So you've got these things, and then if we go to an elevation view, you can see we've got reference planes that determine our height for these things. Okay. All right, so let's go back to our ground floor. You can see here we've got some dimensions that cover the width and the depth of the dimension, and over on the side view we had the height dimensions. And you notice the equals dimensions here. That keeps the model, if you will, the family, centered on the origin. And so that's a good habit to get into when you're creating these things. Let's see. Okay, let's look at, so while we're here, let's look at our family types. And we can see that this is a 60 by 30 inch desk. That's what it's named. We can see the materials given here, the sizes. Okay. And those are that. All right. And you notice these sizes are all locked because we do not want to be able to just edit this. You've seen this in some of the families, and you need to be careful with it when you go to edit families, that you're not not changing the whole thing. You can add a different size desk, okay, by coming over here and going add a new type. So let's look at a student desk. What are the differences? That's 5. I think the height changed to 6. No, I didn't notice a change there. But if we go to the next size up, the 72 by 36, now we can see the sizes are different. And so if I wanted to create a new desk size, say somewhere in between that, I don't know, 66 by 36. So we would go new right here, the type, and we'll say 66 inch by 36 inch. And so now I would change my length or the width here, parameters, to 66 and go OK. And if I go to my 3D view, it didn't add it in there. I haven't saved it and loaded it into the project. That's what happened. View 1, that's where I needed to go. I went back to the project. And so here's I've got 4 different types now. Okay, now I've done this, and I'm editing the family, which is in my Revit library. So if I want it in my project, I have to load it into the project. Okay, and if I want to save it in my Revit library, then I need to do a save or a save as, whichever way that that works for you there. Okay, looking at my notes here. Okay, go back right here. And okay, so the dimensions, these are dimensions. So the center of the drawers are always 8 inches off of the edge of the desk, the side, okay. The depth and the width are variables, okay? And so it's got a parameter tied to it. So I click that dimension, it tells me width equals 5'6". That's a label up here and a parameter. That's where we saw it over in the family types, okay? And we'll get in how to create those things. All right. So if you messed around with your desk while you were following along with me, just close it without saving it. And I'm going to close this project out because I don't need that. Nope. All right. We're going to talk about how to do these form creations. And we want to go to a new family. And we'll go English Imperial. Now these things are organized here. You've got most of your templates right here. Annotations, these are in subfolders because they use a different editor to create them. So annotations are just that. These are all 2-dimensional tags, basically, okay, and symbols. Okay. Conceptual mass is just that. We don't deal with masses very much in my courses. Title blocks are just that. They're your title blocks, okay, and they're 2-dimensional with lots of text, so they have a different template for them. But here you've got these family-based templates for whatever you think you might want to create. So let's go, well, I'll tell you what, I'm at 15 minutes. So let me stop this video, start another one, and we'll pick up right here, okay?